cool little cup from a local Austin coffee shop called All Gimmicks. Super cute merch. Dude, isn't this so cute? I thrifted it yesterday. Ugly Christmas sweater, but also like low-key so cool. I love it. Welcome to the video. So I wanted to talk today about balance around the holidays because I think it is a very hard thing to strike, regardless of if you have a good relationship with food or not, actually. I think especially it can be exacerbated if you don't have a good relationship with food. In my teen years, when that was the case for me, I really struggled. But even regular people, I think, struggle with striking a balance between taking care of yourself during the holidays and not just like all bets are off indulging in absolutely anything. This time of year can be very difficult to kind of balance for multiple reasons because, like, you know, obviously there's holiday parties all the time happening, work parties, family parties, friend parties, and you're obviously eating things you maybe wouldn't normally, drinking maybe more than you would normally. But on top of that, those type of parties or traveling to those parties, just really any type of travel, which is happening a lot during the holiday season, also throws you out of your routine, which can make it hard to just do those like baseline things that you do to kind of take care of yourself every day. So today, to kind of solve those problems, I have three main topics, which are going to be balance around food, balance around activity, and three, how to kind of develop a routine that can be done no matter where you are in the world or what your kind of schedule is. So the first thing to talk about before we talk about any of this is for you to kind of let go of the mentality of like on track versus off track. So on track versus off track does no services to anybody. Your life should be this like kind of conglomerate of experiences somewhere on the spectrum between healthy and maybe a little bit less healthy, and your job is just to show up every time and make a good decision for yourself. And a good decision for yourself can sometimes mean eating your grandma's recipe of cinnamon rolls, but then also maybe after that meal you go on a walk, or maybe for breakfast that day you paired it with some eggs so you have a little bit more substantial thing in your stomach to fuel you for the day. It's just a very important thing that we kind of get that mentality right first, because that's going to be the number one sabotaging thing throughout all of this like holiday season and you reaching your health goals. Topic number one, food. The key here is going to be balancing what tastes good with what feels good. So like I said, having your grandma's recipe of cinnamon rolls for breakfast, but also knowing if I just have that, maybe 2 hours later I'm gonna be hungry, or I'm gonna have like a sugared out stomach ache after I eat that. So I'm gonna pair it with some scrambled eggs or pair it with something that is a little bit more nutrient dense. Just outright saying no to those cinnamon rolls that you only get to have once a year when you go home for Christmas doesn't make sense. I don't recommend that to people, because maybe you can say no to them once and you're like, okay, cool, hell yeah, like I'm doing this thing. But do you want to say no to those every single year for the rest of your life and just never have foods like that be a part of your life? No. You want to learn how to balance them. And so kind of finding this in between is really important, and learning how to both take care of yourself nutritionally as well as enjoy the holidays and enjoy all the traditions around them is a very important thing to learn. A lot of people, when you try and kind of completely take away those things, yeah, like I said, you can maybe do it for a little bit, but ultimately a lot of times for people it ends up later in binging on those foods that you told yourself no to, that are important foods for you. They're a memory for you, or they hold some sort of nostalgia, and I would never recommend to not make those a part of your life. I would just recommend, how can we fit this in a healthier way? Second thing is kind of not around those specific holiday meals or holiday parties or whatever. It's that, okay, knowing going into this month, I'm gonna have a lot of fun foods, I'm gonna have a lot of fun nights, whatever. I'm gonna focus the rest of the time around really dialing in the nutrition of my other meals. So I really am prioritizing protein. I'm really prioritizing veggies at every meal. I'm making sure that I'm getting in hydration. Hydration is gonna be another huge thing. Everybody's bodies, depending on how tall you are, what weight you are, how active you are, that's all going to determine how much water you should intake. So it's gonna be different for everybody, but getting in enough water and properly hydrating is going to be so important, and just really focusing on the nutrition of those meals surrounding the fun meals. When you have that fun meal, you know that your body is taken care of, you know you put yourself first, you can have a little fun, have some of grandma's cinnamon rolls, have some of your mom's pecan pie, whatever it may be, because you know that you've put yourself first already and you've kind of struck a balance and haven't just had sugar cookies for breakfast the entire month of December. Now, in that same vein of prioritizing hydration, like I just talked about, that kind of leads me into my next point, which is creating some semblance of routine kind of no matter where you are. So like I said in the beginning of this video, during the holidays, a lot of people are traveling, a lot of people are out of their normal routine, and a lot of times people have a routine that kind of depends on their environment. So I wake up every morning and I go make my pour over, which is in my kitchen. If I'm going to an Airbnb, a lot of times they don't have a pour over. A lot of people have a routine that kind of has to do with their environment. That's completely fine, that's completely normal, but also have some of those like wellness habits or taking care of you habits or healthy habits that don't rely on an environment to maintain. So for example, every single morning, the first thing that I do is I wake up and I get a cup of water, and then I go bring it to the sink and I wash my face. And while I'm doing my skincare routine, I drink my cup of water, brush my teeth. So I've taken care of my oral care, I've taken care of my skincare, and then now I'm also getting in some hydration. And that's something that you can do anywhere. Kind of stacking habits like that as well can be helpful for people that maybe struggle to find that routine. Is just like, okay, well, these 3 things are the first thing I do in the morning, boom, then I know they're gonna get done no matter what. Another thing you can do is maybe say, okay, before bed every night, I'm gonna do a little 5-minute stretch. And 5 minutes is like no time. For any of these like little routine things, I'm not doing things that are gonna take a long time or take a lot of effort, because you're on holiday, you're on vacation. You don't want things that take a lot of time out of that. So little things that just help you give some sort of semblance of routine and make you feel like, okay, I'm still putting myself first, even though maybe I'm a little out of routine, I'm not where I normally am, I'm not eating what I normally do, whatever. And also you can kind of make little routines during holiday that are like specific to that. So for example, when me and Jordan went to Denver a couple months ago, we had kind of like a little tradition that was just specific to that vacation, where after breakfast we went to a different park and went on a walk, and it was a great way to get in some activity. A lot of times at breakfast we were having some sort of pastry because we're on vacation and we love checking out different coffee shops and different bakeries. So we would go on a little walk and kind of get some movement in, help with digestion, help with that like sugar crash not being so severe, you know. And a walk after a big meal is a perfect thing to incorporate, especially during like holiday season, because obviously you're having some pretty big meals, but also you're spending time with family, so you can do that walk with them, not feel sluggish, and then you guys have energy to go play charades at the end of the night and like jump around and be very animated and present and get to fully enjoy the time with your family. And that walk brings me to my last point, which is activity. So activity is another hard one, because I only recommend what activity makes sense or feels natural to the situation. So I'm not saying people should go and squeeze a workout in on Christmas Eve morning or Christmas morning or Thanksgiving Day. Like, those are days you've traveled to spend time with your family or you've taken off of work, and they should be days to relax. But there are oftentimes a lot of little ways that activity can kind of worm itself into those days that makes sense and feels natural to the situation, that can help you maybe avoid just sitting around all day and munching on the charcuterie board your mom made, or again, like I mentioned earlier, help with digestion, or again, just kind of help get in a little bit of activity during days or weeks where you're kind of out of that normal activity routine. So a couple examples of that for like maybe say Thanksgiving. I know that already passed, but I'll just give some examples to kind of show you where I'm coming from. On Thanksgiving Day, a lot of people are like big football people. So maybe in the yard, you like throw around football with your siblings or your parents. That's a great way to get in some gentle activity, just throwing the football back and forth. It's also some great quality time. A lot of times these like gentle forms of activity that present themselves during the holidays are also great ways to get in some quality time with your family. Another way during the Thanksgiving time is Black Friday shopping. If that's something that your family does, that's a ton of steps, just walking around different stores, going, looking at stuff, standing around. Like, these are gentle ways to get in activity. Another thing that I like to do, my mom is a huge cook. For Christmas Eve, she'll do a big fancy dinner. For Christmas morning, she'll make cinnamon rolls. And obviously that makes a very dirty kitchen. So another way I get in gentle activity is kind of helping her clean up the kitchen, or maybe helping her cook stuff. And that's just getting in a little bit of gentle movement that helps keep you up, keep you occupied, and just contributes to feeling a little better and feeling not so sluggish. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say on this topic. The biggest thing is prioritizing enjoyment, which includes both, yeah, enjoying the moments that you're having with family, the like fun foods, the maybe having a cocktail, whatever, but also part of prioritizing enjoyment is how your body feels. You're not gonna be enjoying things as much if you wake up hungover the next day, or you feel really gross because you had just way too much at dinner. Like, enjoyment is both of those things, and learning the balance is so important to be able to enjoy this holiday time without going overboard, and kind of just learning how to prioritize your health as well as prioritize indulging a little bit. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Comment down below, what is a holiday of food that is like a big thing for your family? For me, I celebrate Christmas, but maybe it's not Christmas for your family, whatever it is. But yeah, I will see you guys next week, and bye.